We're coming
Oh,
on
we're
there.
on.
We're on. We're live now.
This is a really, you're living up to the anarchy message. No form, just whenever.
Just do it. Tatiana Moroz, is wonderful to have you here. You've
Thank you.
added so much value with your art to the liberty-minded movement, for lack of a better term. You've given us art, and you've given us beauty, and you've given us songs, and they're always touching and always wonderful. I've heard you now, what, 4 or 5 times in concert at various locations.
Hmm.
Bitcoin conferences, Liberty Forum in New Hampshire, I guess, Libertopia.
Yes.
So it's beautiful, always wonderful, wonderful to have you there.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about your new, because you're interested in Bitcoin, right? I mean, you're not just a musician, you're interested in technology too.
Well, I love Bitcoin, and I would say that even though Tony Glippy from BitPay sold me my first Bitcoin, my real passion for Bitcoin was a direct result of being at your Atlanta cryptocurrency convention. I thought it was really vibrant, and it was that the energy there was really exciting, and it made me think that maybe I should try and wrap my head around the technology and see if I could understand it a little bit more. Because I think when people start getting involved with cryptocurrency, they don't understand what it is. Um, but that gave me the impetus to push forward and to learn a little bit more. So I would say that that had a really big impact.
But that,
Um,
but that was only this last October. I mean,
I
you still
know.
have
Well,
your vesting.
I got my Bitcoin in August of 2012. And I kind of liked it. I was like, okay, cool, Bitcoin, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't understand why I would want to use it or anything like that. Um, but obviously, as the price of Bitcoin went up, it became more interesting. um, Imagine that. And then yeah, and so then I went to the Atlanta conference. I had such a nice time, and I didn't understand any of the speeches. But nonetheless, I understood the energy, and it got me kind of motivated, and then I did my Bitcoin jingle, which I debuted for the first time in Buenos Aires, December 6th, I think it was. So that was the first ever Latin American Bitcoin conference, and it was the first performance of the Bitcoin song. So
Wait a
yeah,
minute, you
ever
didn't
since then,
understand any of the
all the
speeches?
way.
You didn't even understand my speech in Atlanta?
No, you're
I guess I didn't really give a speech today.
no, it was your presence alone was inspiring enough.
Okay. That was a fun conference. I remember putting it together in like the spring of 2013, just because I didn't think anybody was doing Bitcoin conferences. So it was kind of a radical thing at the time. But now there's Bitcoin conference, every 3 days or something, right?
Yes, they're all over. I actually have a calendar where I have I'm keeping track of all of them. So I try and go
Right.
as much as I can.
But now you're interested in altcoins, and you've actually started a Tatiana coin.
Yes. Well, the way that that came about was, I was in Berlin and for the Bitcoin conference there, and everybody started saying, "Oh, you should do a Tatiana coin," and I just thought it was a silly idea and maybe sort of a joke that you make over drinks. But Adam Levine from Let's Talk Bitcoin approached me shortly thereafter, and he suggested that I really do it, and he explained to me a little bit more in depth what that would look like. He and I had had a conversation back in January just about the future of that kind of Bitcoin 2.0 thing, and he's been advising me, and it's not easy being a pioneer um, because there's a lot of things that you learn along the way, and I think that it's a little bit more complicated than you would think if you really want to execute it properly. But what excites me is the concept of raising money for artists and raising money for different causes, and also having a long-term relationship with those people who donated to your cause. So instead of having just a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo where people get their prize and that's it, and that's the end of the relationship, they don't get anything out of it. This way, I build a long-term relationship with my fans. They're a member of all my kind of backstage stuff, and all my exclusive content will be provided for people who support Tatiana Coin initially. And I think it'll be something that can be applied to a number of different things, not just artistry, but of course I have the greatest interest in music being renovated.
What is the protocol of Tatiana coin? Is it Bitcoin or Litecoin, or what? How does that work?
No, it's built on well, I'm going to be using Counterparty. and they're built on top of Bitcoin, the way that I understand it. I just kind of made some decisions about that, so I have to still have a talk with them and understand a lot of that. But luckily, I have a really great team. You know, I wasn't expecting this, but out of the experience that I've had so far, I've decided to start a PR kind of coin consulting business with
Wow.
folks that used to work at Mastercoin, because we want to kind of make that experience for people as easy as possible, so as to not turn them off. It's a very intimidating process, even for me, and I'm pretty, I don't know, I mean, I know more than the average person about Bitcoin, and it's been a little bit of a challenge for me as well. So I think that there's a way that you can kind of streamline that process from the get-go and have a really good, strong foundation to have a successful concept that catches on a mass level, which is what my goal is to have this, you know, Tatiana coin, great, but I want to see other people benefiting from this in the long term.
Where was I when I saw you in concert and you had a QR code on your guitar and I scanned it and sent you, I think, Bitcoin?
Oh, did you? That was nice of you. I encourage that sort of thing.
Do you get random Bitcoin tips all the time?
No, I don't. I don't know why. Maybe people don't like me. But no, that was the Texas Bitcoin conference, I think. What I really wanted to do was sort of rent out space, like how you would do it at a race car thing, and have all different companies kind of putting their thing on my guitar. But I ended up with just the QR code because, I don't know, I just ended up with that. It was easier.
Maybe you can hold it up in this video podcast.
Excuse me?
Can you hold up your QR code? Do you have it handy?
No, I don't. Oh, wait, yes. No, I don't. I'm useless.
Oh, okay.
Terrible girl.
Okay, can people go to your site and
of course, yeah. Yeah, all that stuff is on there and on all my YouTube videos and stuff. So if people want to support me, then they can do that there. I suppose maybe if I was more diligent about putting my QR code, it might help with people sending me money. But anyway.
I know. I mean, I felt very inspired that evening, and I just scanned your guitar and sent you Bitcoin.
I have a big show tomorrow at the New York City Bitcoin Center in the evening, and then I'm also performing at Liberty Fest 4, which is in New York City, and I will put my QR code. Thank you for reminding me. But what's cool about the Liberty Fest is it's all women.
Really? Why is that?
First ever Liberty Fest with all women speakers. I think it's great.
Yeah, that's
wonderful. Taking over. And the guys should be happy, you know?
Who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls? You don't like that song or know it, right?
Not particularly, but when you do it, I mean, it's a revelation.
You know, it's funny. Our relationship is sort of built on musical discoordination in some way, or asymmetry of knowledge. I'm like seriously into pop music, and you are interested in folk music, right?
I like pop music. I just don't like modern pop music. I think it's bad. But I think that we did connect on that Christina Aguilera song.
Oh, Say Something. That one?
Oh, you know what we have to do? If we ever are at karaoke together, that's our song.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I have to work on it. Yeah, I have to work on that a little bit. Yeah.
Well,
I'm suddenly nervous. Yeah, I could maybe do that. But we sang. So let's just sort of slightly tell the story, because we were at the Liberty.me launch party at ISFLC, and you were scheduled to sing, but the environment wasn't quite right. You know, we couldn't get the microphone set up or anything. But you did have one special song you wanted to sing, and I didn't know what it was, right? But I recalled a moment. It was in San Diego. You and I were there, and I played for you the song that inspired the creation of the website Liberty.me, and it was Skyline Pigeon by Elton John, which I think was written in like 1968 or 69. And I was going nuts for it, right? I played you the harpsichord version, and you didn't really like the harpsichord version, but you came back and learned it. And the odd thing was that I had no idea that you were going to actually play this at the party. I was completely blown away and surprised. And you started playing it, and I broke down in tears. And that's on video. Yeah.
Well, that's on my YouTube, so people can go there. I have to send you the footage. You should have that anyway.
Yeah.
But what's funny about that story is that I had no idea that that song had inspired Liberty.me. I had wanted to cover it for you for ages, and I just didn't have the time to learn it. It's not the easiest song in the world.
That's hard.
It's
Right.
an unusual kind of structure and everything,
Right.
and I had no idea. So I think that was our moment.
Well, it was funny, Tatiana, because it was, I think, about a year ago now that I was really into that song, and I imagined this digital city, and that song was on my mind. And when I contacted a designer to come up with our logo, and I was really taken with that, particularly that part when, the bird is singing, right, and he's in a cage and he's desperate to get out, and especially that part where he says, um, please take off this metal ring, so that I can fly away.
That's your
And
favorite line, I know. I
yeah,
remember you putting it out.
yeah, it's incredible. It's an incredible moment in the song, and it makes me crazy just to hear it. But that was the image that I had when I first imagined Liberty.me. So that's why the bird is there, to reflect the song. And it's funny you didn't know that. Like, you know why I touched on? I think the reason I didn't tell you about that when I was in San Diego with you, and I played the song for you, was because it was kind of a secret at that point. I mean, the whole site was a little bit of a secret. So I was a little bit circumspect about the details, you know.
I know that you had given me something about it. You'd given me like your proposal-ish thing, and that
Right.
was in Vegas. I remember that
It was in
because
Vegas. But
everybody was feeling so rough after
I
3 days of Freedom Fest or whatever in Vegas, and I came into the bar at
right.
the airport, and it was maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, and you were
Oh, God.
pristine. I mean, the whole bow tie, everything looked flawless, and I couldn't understand how anybody, after so
Yeah.
many days of Vegas, could look
Yeah.
so put together.
Oh, you're so funny. Well, I was exhausted. I had no sleep. I remember now. I'm putting it back together again. I arrived at the hotel at the airport bar, and I didn't know you that well, right? But you sat down next to me or something,
Mhm.
and I was exhausted, and I had been searching for investors, and I hadn't found any. So I was like at that point fairly at the end of my rope, feeling rather hopeless. And so I think I had one business plan left, and I just took it out of my bag and I gave it to you for no good reason.
Well, I liked it. I enjoyed it. And see, and now here we are, 1 year later, and things
And
are
it
cooking.
it exists. It's just proof the world can change, right? It's proof. And so then I think it was a couple of months later, right? We find ourselves in San Diego, and by that time I had become hush hush about it, just because I felt like it was a possible thing that could actually happen. So I didn't talk to you about it. Probably that's what happened. But I did talk to you about Skyline Pigeon, and then you played it at the Liberty Me party in DC. So it's an amazing series of events, really.
Yeah, I think the past few years have really been like that. It's been a really
Yeah.
magical kind of journey, I think, for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, and I feel like in a way this is year one. I really do feel that way. It's like we've started over, and we have a real chance now to do amazing things that we've never done before. We've got a real cultural and social movement alive. We've got, the city is built. Um, uh, everything's wonderful. You're starting a new coin. Your career is taking off. Um, there's sad times for Liberty in some ways, but in other ways, they're the best times for Liberty,
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I think sometimes I get a little bit burnt out because I think that there are some people that are just
Mm.
not, I don't know, you have high expectations for people in the liberty movement. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of just humanity, which means error as well. But there are so many brilliant moments of inspiration. So, I mean, it's an intense kind of experience, I guess. And
Yeah.
there's ups and there's downs, and my heart anyway is just super invested in it. So I'm brokenhearted, I'm elated, I'm brokenhearted, elated, but it's a fun journey. So I mean, I always liked roller coasters, so I guess this is the extension.
I love roller coasters too. Um, Tell me, we're going to do a concert on Google Hangouts in later this month. Am I right?
Yes, I believe that we chose May 30th, which is a Friday. We'll do it in the evening, and I'm gonna do a little concert for you guys.
Okay, that'd be amazing. And we can have 10 people on the Hangout, and then, but unlimited numbers of viewers. So we have to promote really hard and let everybody know about this, right?
Absolutely. No, I just got somebody to help me with my social media. She's wonderful. So I'm just gonna have her help. I'm gonna
Okay,
be
that's
posting
good.
everywhere. I think it's gonna be great.
Well, you're doing very well in this Hangout. This is kind of sophisticated. So, what would you think? Think that I saw your guitar. What would you think about giving us like a little preview and actually singing Skyline Pigeon? Would you mind that?
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to.
That'd be
I haven't
amazing.
played it completely in a while, so hopefully it'll be flawless. But we'll pass flaws, and it is what it is.
You like the idea that this becomes like a little bit of an anthem? I mean, it means a lot to me. So thank you for taking it on. It's a difficult song, difficult words, difficult chord progressions, very high-minded, but also very deeply moving. So I'm thrilled if you would do that for us. So thank you so much, Tatiana.
Hold on. Okay, let me think for a second. Oh gosh, this is not gonna go well. But anyway, why don't you tell some jokes in the meantime? No, I'm just kidding. All right, we're gonna. I really don't think this is gonna be a very good preview, but
Really?
I don't know.
I mean,
We'll
I'm
see.
putting you on the spot. I'm sorry about this. I'm not a
Okay.
guitar.
Yeah.
Did you know I played guitar when I was a little boy? Did I tell you that?
No, I didn't know that.
I took a lot of guitar lessons, and I played a lot. I played. Have you ever heard that song? It goes something like "The green, green grass of home." It's
Yeah.
good to touch the green. So I used to, when I was a little boy, I memorized the song. I used to play it for my parents' parties, and I think the song is about a guy who goes off to war and is killed,
Hmm.
but he's dead, and he comes home, and the last time he touches the green, green grass of home is like when he's buried, right? So from an
Can you sing the
adult point of
refrain?
view,
Isn't it like
what?
the green, green grass at home or something like that? How does it go?
It's good to touch the green, green grass of home.
Oh,
I
okay.
taste something and there comes Mary, eyes of something and lips like cherries. It's
Oh,
good.
I know that
Yeah.
song now. Okay,
So
I thought
yeah,
so.
right. He's coming home, but he's dead actually. And so I'm a little boy. I'm 7 or whatever, and I don't understand that the song is about dying in war. So my parents used to ask me to play it for parties and sing it. And I'd always sing it and play it on guitar. And then all the adults at the party would, I'd look up at the end of the song and they'd all be in tears, weeping. And I never understood why, because it seemed like, for me, as a little boy of 7, it seemed like a fun thing to touch the grass. I didn't understand that it was about death. You know. So
I
anyway.
think that's the fun thing with music is you can sneak in all sorts of messages in there,
Right, right. So
like
do you think
Skyline Pigeon.
the Skyline Pigeon? Do you think you want to do it? I mean, you
Oh no,
don't have
I'm ready.
to.
I figured it
Okay,
out while you were
okay,
talking. I picked up. I figured out what the little part that I was missing. So now we will have a at least 85% decent performance.
fabulous. Okay, wonderful.
Okay, so here we go. Turn the loose from your head. Let me fly to distant lands over green fields, trees and mountains, flowers and forest fountains. Home along the lanes of the skyway, for this dark and lonely room projects a shadow cast in gloom, and my eyes are mirrors of the world outside, thinking of the way that the wind can turn the tide, and these shadows turn from purple into gray for just this Skyline pigeon dreaming of the open, waiting for the day he can spread his wings and fly away again. Fly away, skyline pigeon, fly towards the dreams you left so very far behind. Fly away, skyline pigeon, fly towards the dreams you left so very far behind. Let me wake up in the morning with the smell of new mown hay, to laugh and cry, to live and die in the brightness of my day. I want to hear the pealing bells of distant churches ring, but most of all, please free me from this aching metal ring, and open up this cage toward the sun, for just this skyline pigeon dreaming of the open, waiting for the day he can spread his wings and fly away again. Fly away, skyline pigeon, fly towards the dreams you left so very far behind. Fly away, skyline pigeon, fly towards the dreams you left so very far behind.
Yay! So beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
You do it so
Next time I think I'm going to do it a little higher. I think it's a little low.
No, your voice, your alto is lovely, actually.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's like rich and glorious. So that's just such a touching song. Thank you so much, Tatiana. I can't believe it. It's amazing. You know what's so beautiful about music? It amazes me. It's like this song was written in 1968, right? Something like that. And here we are in 2014. You're able to render it with such authenticity and life and meaning, like right here. You know, it's like the song transported itself over all this time and space, and comes alive in such a beautiful way, just like right in front of us, right here. You know, especially with this technology. That's, to me, a miracle, and a signal of like the really beautiful thing in this world. You know, music is like ideas. They transport themselves over time and space. They're indestructible. They're malleable. They're immortal. So that's what moves me most about hearing you sing that song. And I like the way too Tatiana Moroz has her own interpretation and understanding of that song.
Well, you know, I think that one of the things that I'm always trying to drive home with people, and something that's always motivated me with music, is that ability to change how people think and change how people are. And what I noticed was, you know, I was doing, you know, I was always inspired by like the 60s and the 70s and all the revolutions, and I wanted that to happen. So when I got involved with the Ron Paul movement, there was a lot of inspiration there, and it felt like I had found my destiny, so to speak. But one of the things that really disappointed me was, even though liberty is a universal, when you start putting a label on somebody that they're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, it puts up a lot of walls. And one of the things that I love about music is that you can break down those walls. You don't even have to speak the same language with somebody, and then all of a sudden they're listening. And then you take it a step further, and when you start talking about Bitcoin, you can teach people about the liberty stuff later, because everybody cares if they're getting ripped off. Everybody doesn't want to, you know, I mean, who wants to pay a 3 or 5% fee to use a MasterCard or a Visa? Or who wants to pay 20% to send money with Western Union to a foreign country? I mean, it's insane. So that's a good gateway with people. And and I think that we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking down those borders, and that's what I really want to see happen, is like, I mean, yeah, I guess after all this time, I've fallen into the anarchy world, and it seems like the only logical place. You know that old joke that they have? What's the difference between a libertarian and an anarchist? 6 months. Well,
yeah, right.
I mean, I think that there's something to be said for that, and I don't think that anarchy has to be something that has to be feared. I mean, your audience knows this better than anybody, so I'm preaching to the choir, but I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of opportunities to bridge the gaps with people. We have so much technology, and I think that with culture and with things like Liberty.me, where people can come and hang out and support each other, I think that's how we can help make a huge difference in the world.
Tatiana, your voice, your musicianship, your vision is such a gift to the world, and thank you for sharing that with us. It means so much. You've filled a real need in our world: inspiration and musicianship and art. We need that. It's a critical part of Liberty, and without you, we wouldn't have that. So I'm grateful to you, and grateful to your willingness to spend today this few minutes together.
Well, it was a lovely few minutes.
Yeah.
And so people are going to hear that Skyline Pigeon song when I record it. So that's what I'm doing with the Tatiana coin, is I'm raising money to record the album, but I'm giving you that song, and I want it to be your theme. So I'm pretty presumptuous with my gift that you will accept it. But that's my goal.
I hope that people rewind this video and listen to that song again, because it's so beautiful. I like the way the pigeon in this cage, right, is able to look out the window and see such beautiful things, and imagines soaring over vast vistas and hearing church bells sing, and really experiencing the world in a big way. And the pigeon only needs the ring taken off and the cage opened. And that's what we're doing. That's the job of our whole of our lives. We need to take the rings off and open the cage, and we can do this. So it means so much to me that you just sang that song for us.
Well, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy always to chat and support everything. I mean, obviously, you're one of my favorite people here in the Liberty world, and a lot of people's. We were talking about that the other day.
Well, it's an unbelievable pleasure. We'll see you on, what's the date again? May 30th?
May 30th, yes. And then I'll see you at Porkfest, which is far too far away for our in-person rendezvous, but I'll have to say.
Thank you so much, Tatiana. All the best to you. Have a good the rest of your Friday and weekend. Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.